So how can I share the screen with the, I mean, they will see my screen, right? I'll just ask the question. There is a screen here. Hello.
It's waiting.
Okay. So any questions about anxiety, stress? You can ask me any questions. I will answer that and give you my coping method.
It says six waiting. I don't know if she's talking.
I see 7 people here. And Bonnie, do you want to ask any question about information, Bob?
Okay.
So it is live.
Yeah.
All right. There's a. So I might share the screen. Can you see me, Bonnie?
Yes, we can see.
Okay. Remember to guard your privacy. Learn more. So.
And we have 4 watching right now, ladies.
Yeah, now it's 7. So
welcome everyone.
Welcome everyone. So we're not gonna talk about acupuncture, herbs, and high stress and anxiety, how that will lower the anxiety. And you can ask a question anytime. You can stop me anytime. The reason I bring it up is when the anxiety level goes up, you actually stimulate your immune system. So the immune system become hyperactive, then you can develop different kind of chronic inflammation, allergies, or sinusitis, even autoimmune like MS, ALS. That's why it's very important to balance the immune system. And in Nature 2000, there's an article saying that when you stimulate the parasympathetic nerve, which is the relaxing part of the nervous system, you actually can reduce the inflammation, which verifies the theory that the more you relax, the more balanced your immune system is. Back to older times, we don't have so much stimulation and we don't have so much nutrients, high calorie food, processed food. So our immune system on the weak side. But now with all the stimulation, the nervous system gets stimulated all the time, then your immune system is hyperactive. So you don't get infection, but you can develop a chronic inflammation. And that's why so many people develop autoimmune allergies. The inflammation is designed to protect us. But if it's hyperactive or it's too strong, then it's going to attack our tissue. So that's why we need to reduce the stress, reduce the anxiety, so our nervous system will be more balanced and our immune system will be more balanced. So that's how acupuncture is can be used to treat so many problems. Cancer, it's not a specific to treat cancer, but if your immune system is balanced, then you can optimize the level of inflammation, meaning that the inflammation will be at the right level to clear up the infection, the dead tissue, the cancer cell, but not to the level that it attacking our tissue, so that we develop autoimmune, rheumatoid arthritis, MS, ALS, eczema, psoriasis. So that's how we need to reduce the stress. And it's very interesting in India, you know, in the nutritional world, everybody's saying that black pepper, turmeric are good. But let me tell you a truth, a fact, that in India, the family used to have 13 to like more than 13 kids. Now they started IVF at early 20s. And because they combined the pepper, turmeric with the modern food, either sugar or sugar substitute, then it developed inflammation in the endocrine system. So their infertility happens to so many women in their early 20s. So my patient went back to India and she's like 35-ish because IVF is cheaper there. Here is $25,000. And she was told that you're too old. You're too old. But in America, we even 40, 45 years old, we still do IVF. I get many 40 years old pregnant with my herbs and acupuncture by just clear up the inflammation. So any questions about that so that I don't just talk myself? So Bob, do you want to ask some question about, because I know you have many artificial joint, and when you have artificial joint, you tend to develop, because that's a foreign material. Let me tell you my own story so we won't invade anybody's privacy. I have this tooth implants, and so before I got these foreign things in my mouth, I was very nervous because I have very high histamine because my brain always thinking, and I don't sleep 8 hours or 9 hours like most people. I sleep 6 hours is my best time, and I always think. So my histamine level is high. So before I got these foreign things in my mouth, I was very nervous. And when they took out that the broken tooth, and I have the pain here, mild pain. And when I exercise on treadmill, if my core body temperature elevated a little bit, then I can feel the pain here, and I get nervous. So I started taking the herbs when there's a pain, and then the pain goes away. A few weeks before they put into this, I don't know the material, but it's a foreign material, right? So I started taking the herbs, clearing the heat, smooth the energy flow, reduce the inflammation level, and reduce the histamine level. It took for a few weeks, and then the my dentist, the orthodontist, or the dentist, I don't know, it's a general dentist from China. He put this implants here, and I'm still very nervous because I have very sensitive nervous and immune system. So I continue my herbs for another few weeks until I don't feel anything, and I stop the herbs. So that's how important you balance your immune system before you go to surgery, or um, you have like implants or foreign joints to put in. And that's my suggestion. Balance is the key. So questions about why we need to balance the immune system.
Well, Dr. Zahn, I have one question. This is Bob, and I heard you mention psoriasis. So I have psoriasis in my elbows. I used to have it in my knees, and I have it in my knuckles. Now, question I have is, can I have psoriasis in other areas that do not become noticeable? Like, can I have it in other areas, but it doesn't show the crusting of the psoriasis?
That's a very good point, Bob, because there is psoriatic arthritis. So, and I think you mentioned some big toe pain on either left or right foot, and I don't know if that's connected with psoriasis, but I have to tell you that If you eat a lot of nuts, your psoriasis will get worse. Um, because I treated many vegans, and they don't eat meat, right? They eat a lot of nuts and seeds, and they love turmeric. So you have to watch that. Every time I treat a vegan, I ask them, do you have sinusitis? Do you have rashes? And I usually find it somewhere. So if you only eat small amount, then you may get over, you may not have skin rashes. But at a certain condition, when your anxiety level goes up, when your stress level goes up, then your histamine level go up, when you don't sleep well, then you continue your peanut butter, then you would see some area will show up, either rashes or redness or in the joint. If histamine level goes up, you can actually have liquid come out of your synovial memory. So that's how people suddenly get swelling of their knees and this and that. High salt is one thing, but nobody mentioned nuts and seeds. But I am super sensitive, and I used to have hives twice a year. And when I reached 40 years old, because I don't sleep well, my histamine level go up so high. I have 8 months hives, and my histamine go up to the roof. Interesting enough, when I get a food allergy test, I am not allergic to anything. I remember that test is a very expensive test. But if I eat nuts, then the next day my hives will cover my body. So I avoid that. I definitely cannot eat spicy food because I just get instantaneous sore throat. So, but after 8 months of herbs and acupuncture, the hives went away. And then I reintroduced a little bit of nuts. I usually avoid it in peanuts. So 3 to 5 almonds for 2 days is fine. The third day, I would have phlegm, I would have sore throat, and then I will have like a red spot somewhere, either chest or on the arm. Then I have to stop to lower the histamine. It's not like everybody is sensitive as I am, because people who sleep deeper and longer, they actually can tolerate more. So your question is very interesting. You probably will not so say your rashes get bigger. You could have joint swelling, even inside, like the liquid come out of blood vessel or synovial memory, which covers the joint. Then if it's a small amount of liquid, it's not necessary your joint looks swollen, but you would have like aching. So that's my answer.
Thank you.
Any other question about the anxiety? And the other thing I want to share with you, and recently I treat patients that um, she took anti-anxiety medication for a long time, I think a couple of years, and then she wants to stop, and she didn't go slow. She stopped right away. And guess what? The panic attack constantly. So she has to come to me and using acupuncture. I think if I add herbs, then she will be feel much relaxed, and the anxiety level will drop, because every time you have panic attack, your whole immune system, nervous system get stimulated. Then you could, I mean, if this lasts longer, then you could develop allergies, autoimmune. And that's why people use acupuncture for everything, even for the cancer. It's not treating cancer, it's making your immune system more balanced, to not too weak so that a cancer cell will escape, not too strong so that you destroy your own tissue. Any other questions regarding inflammation? So inflammation, is the key for all the chronic disease. And let me give you another example. Um, so we have like 10 more minutes left. So if you have any questions, you can ask. Just you can stop me anytime. But I want to share the information.
Check your chat.
Chat. Well, how can I check that? Okay, here. Oh. So if you want to eat raw walnuts, and then it would be better to soak in a vinegar and overnight, and then you can eat that. But if you have itchy sensation or some kind of red spot, then stop for a few weeks and start with three, and then eat for 2-3 times a week and see how you respond. But generally, two ways um, you can reduce the histamine level when you eat nuts. Peanut is the worst. If you really want to eat nuts, eat the nuts, not just the butter, not peanut butter or cashew butter. Soak in vinegar, and also use the crock pot, the pressure cooker, and that will break down the protein. The protein, vegetarian protein, is hard to digest. So if you just eat raw, it's hard to digest, and if it's not digesting well, it can eat not only trigger histamine release, but also it can cause acid reflux. There's another question. Special types of herbs to take for inflammation. There are different herbs. I like dandelion green. Anything tastes bitter, then it clears up the body heat. So if you have heat inside, then you tend to develop inflammation. And so people who eat a lot of peppers, they have a lot of heat. So the heat generates inflammation or aggravates inflammation. So dandelion green, honeysuckle, even arugula. I love arugula. It's a part of Mediterranean diet. So that bitter taste. But I wouldn't say coffee. Coffee is bitter. I wouldn't encourage you use coffee to clear up the heat, because coffee stimulates the sympathetic nerves and making your whole body into a fight or flight condition. So that's a yeah. You can text me more question. So I'm gonna share another story about how after surgery you need to take care of optimize the inflammation level. For instance, you had an eye surgery or knee surgery, and when you cut open the tissue, your immune system will acting up because the immune system wants to clear up the dead tissue. So that creates redness, swelling, pain, and heat. That's the four characters of inflammation. So when you have any kind of surgery, you would have more inflammation. And one of my friends, he had a retinal repairment because it detached. And so I told him, don't eat nuts, don't eat turmeric or spicy food before and after the surgery. And I think the wife is so nice and brought some spicy food, which he really loved after the surgery. And the surgery was successful to retach the retina. And then after that spicy food, the inflammation just becomes stronger, and he ends up in ER. Not only the retina was swelling up, but also the lung has some acute inflammation. So he almost lost the vision. So that's my story. So if you really love spicy food, go easy and don't take that before or right after the surgery. Any other question?
Dr. Lee, this is Bob again.
Thank you.
I recently had some lab work done. Uh, okay. And what I got that was rated high was level of C-reactive protein. So I don't have a clear understanding of that, but I understand it's associated with a high level of inflammation. So how would I go about controlling that or bringing that level down?
So the C-reactive protein is a general marker for the inflammation. So if that's high, it just means your body has you have stronger reaction to any kind of foreign material or bacterial or virus. So um, you don't necessarily have infection, but if your immune system is kind of hyperactive or your nervous system is hyperactive or you don't sleep very well, your histamine level is high, then you have some inflammation somewhere, um, not necessarily show up on your body surface. um, so it's not a specific marker, but it does indicate your inflammation level is up. But I do have a case. I think one of a patient, he has inflammation in the sinus, but his C-reactive protein is not high. So it's not everybody has inflammation and the C-reactive protein will be high. You have to combine with the symptoms. But if your sediment rate ESR is also high, that means you might have some autoimmune problem going on. So the first step, they're going to suppress your immune system with cortisone, and then it's a fine balance. You suppress your immune system, you could end up bacterial or virus inflammation. And a bacterial infection, because the bacterial protein is a foreign thing, and then it can trigger more inflammation. So try to balance everything is the key to optimize the level of inflammation.
Thank you, Dr. Lee.
All right. So we have 8 more minutes. If anybody have any question, just text a message or put on the chat, so I can answer. And then I will not waste anybody's time. So we'll finish up. Yes, you can start with 3 to 5. I think apple cider vinegar would be better than white vinegar, because apple cider vinegar also listed as something which help the allergies. So Dr. Andrew Well, the guy who graduated from Harvard Medical School, I listened to his talk, and he said, if you want to eat any kind of nuts every day, then you start with 3 to 5. I don't think anybody started with 3 to 5 handful. I don't know how many nuts in handful. So, but generally, I think sour stuff is good, help digestion, and also bitter stuff clears up inflammation. Sweets, everybody love it, but yeah, the bitter stuff clears up the heat and inflammation. There's a question: are there any benefits to locally harvested honey from local bees? I think honey generally is good, especially from local bees, um, because we use honey as a substrate for the herbal pills. So when we put different herbs together, we add honeys, and then we make that as a small pill, and then people will take that chronic long-term use. So the funny facts about honey is I tested because I love food, and if I eat it, I have huge dopamine release and I feel happy. So I have to find a way to control the appetite. So honey, if I put honey and cookies side by side, and I take one quarter of spoon of honey and put into my tea, I'm done. If I take one piece of a cookie, I'm not done. If I know there's another cookie there, and I will either go there, or my brain will register there. And next morning or next afternoon, when I'm tired, I was like, there's a cookie there waiting for me. So, the fructose stimulate the brain so much that you never forget about it. When you stress out, you always want to go there. But after eating those things, you don't necessarily feel good. But honey is the thing that you can be satisfied with a small amount. And plus, honey can relieve the stomach pain. And only sour, like what sauerkraut. Yes, that's good. Sauerkraut, Bonnie, is that like a fermented flour? The sauerkraut is fermented flour, right?
Pickled cabbage.
Oh, that's a pickled cabbage. That's good. Fermented cabbage is good because the cabbage can block the bad estrogen, and it helps women to block the estradiol, the bad estrogen, to develop cancer. But fermented food, any kind of like cheese or even fermented cabbage, fermented things tend to induce histamine. So check that fermented cabbage if that belongs to that category. Because if your histamine level is high, you can test yourself. You don't have to go to get blood draw. Like for instance, you press your skin, some acupressure points. Next time, I'm going to show you some acupressure points to calm down the nerves. So if you press, like if I press my pericardium 6 to slow down my heartbeat, and then if you see there's a red spot there after you press for 30 seconds, that means your body is too sensitive. So if I put needles on somebody's back and then I see there's a red spot there, and I knew their histamine level is high or they have hyperactive nervous system. So let's lower the anxiety level and balance the immune system and the nervous system. The reason I want to share my thought is having acupuncture is expensive and time consuming. If somebody wants to treat me, I need to block an hour to lie down there. And some people don't like to lie down. They have to move. And also you have to drive there. It's just time consuming. And plus you have to pay the labor fee. So if you combine, and I find like some yoga teacher get a very good result, the Qigong practitioner, Reiki practitioner, because they practice meditation, and we can next time we show you the acupressure points to calm down the nerves. Then you can only come like once a month or every 2-3 weeks, and that will be resume the balance of your nerves, your immune system, and the muscle in different level, so you can save money and time. All right. Thank you so much for the Sunday afternoon. And if you can email me if you like it, and then I will organize another one. Maybe next time even shorter. I'll just show you some acupressure point, deep breathing, combining meditation to bring down the level of anxiety and stress. Thank you very much. Bye bye.